Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Akil and today I'm back and finally after a long time I'm going to do an in-depth review of Pirates of Caribbean at World's End. So without further ado, let's do this. Now, before I actually talk about my thoughts about this movie and all that type of stuff and go in-depth on this movie, I'm going to be doing a review for Avengers Infinity War tomorrow. So don't worry guys, I won't spoil anything, but I will make sure that when I talk about the story, I won't talk that much. So I'll make the story part of the video half its original length. So if it's 2 minutes, I'll make it 1 minute. If it's 1 minute, I'll make it 30 seconds. But honestly, I'll try and do my very best, but I'm sure for most of you my best isn't good enough. But anyway, yeah, so tomorrow I will be watching Avengers Infinity War in the morning. But other than that, yeah, so that's what's gonna happen tomorrow. Sorry guys, that was just a random pause. But anyway, so yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. Finally I get to talk about this movie. Now, also one more thing. Number 4, Pirates of the Caribbean 4, aka Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. I won't be reviewing for a very long time. Until maybe 6 months. I don't know how long I will be. Actually, not 6 months. Hopeless. But I'm hoping that by the end of the year, I get to review Pirates of the Caribbean. That was on Stranger Tides. So that means all the Pirates movies will be done by the end of this year. That's my main goal. So it's just one more Pirates review and then normal reviews. But I don't know how many reviews I can do because yeah, time's going really fast, guys. But anyway, let's talk about this movie. So first up, I have to say that it's my favorite film of the franchise. Still is today. I still give it an 8 out of 10. I love the film, but I don't love it as much as other films. So let's talk about the movie. So first up, the first thing I initially picked up was how the movie was laid out. Well, what I'm trying to say, guys, is that I thought the movie was just gonna be like, okay, not one of these pirate movies, but no, it just makes it different. Now we have all the characters back in this movie, and it's really all out war. It's an epic movie, I have to say. I would describe this movie in one word. I should say, if I had to describe this movie in one word, it would be that it's epic. So yeah. Alright, now let's get on to this. So first up, the first thing I picked up was the first negative. Now, it's the first negative I should say that I picked up is that there's no explanation of the opening scene. The scene where all the prisoners are singing and all the type of stuff in the start. No explanation. I'm a guy who now am starting to become a proper critic. I hope so I am. I don't know. But when it comes to these things, explanation, I want to see some type of explanation. Even though the movie is not that long, I just want to see it. So I'm not trying to be nitpicky. There are few nitpicks, but hey, if I'm going in depth, I have to talk about them too. But still, I still think it's the best out of the trio, out of the 5 movies so far. So yeah, and also I won't be doing how I also did my other 2 reviews, where I won't be going over like the normal review structure for like the mini movie reviews and all that type of stuff. So I'll just be going in depth. And also, negatives and positives are the only thing that I include if you have forgotten. So yeah, so no explanation of the opening scene. Next up, I found out there was no explanation of the Singapore scene. The scene right after that followed. Yes, after the opening titles, Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End, the Singapore scene, it just happens. It's just one of those things where you gotta go along with the plot, guys. I mean, yeah, that's okay, I guess, for most of the time, but really, I wanted some explanation in that scene. So yeah, I feel like if you are fans of the movie and the franchise especially, you would just go and enjoy it for whatever purpose you want to enjoy it. But really, I wanted some explanation on why Keira Knightley's character was there, singing on the board, going to wherever she needed to go to, with Barbossa. I needed to understand why the scene in Singapore was there. So yeah. I mean, obviously, it had to be part of the plot later on, but still, at the start, I just wanted a bit of like an explanation. So yeah, not a what, just a brief one, I guess. All right, next up, the first positive I picked up is that there was an early introduction to the villain. With every great movie comes a great villain. Now this villain is played by Chow Yun Fat or Fat, I can't remember. Yeah, it says there in the DVD cover, as you can see, Chow Yun Fat. So I did get the name right, and he plays I'm sorry, I forgot the character's name. Starting with S, but we'll talk about the character later. This movie, the way they introduce the villain, it's okay. It's not like meh, okay, whatever. But it's like coming right at the start of the movie, I was like very surprised. So great job, guys, for making us, the audience, get introduced to this character at the start, because you already know that he's gonna play a good pivotal role. But no, you dispose of him so easily. Yes. What I'm trying to say, guys, is that this character dies. Now, yes, it's in-depth, so it's obviously going to have spoilers. I should have said that at the start. Sorry, my bad, guys. Just like the others had spoilers. But, look. Yeah, the character, yes, it was great to see him introduced at the start, but no, he had to die later? My gosh. Anyway, great job, though. Next up, another positive, early battle scene. Of course, every great movie has to start right in the action. Similar to what Captain America Civil War did and Winter Soldier, I believe. Yeah, kind of. An early battle scene is just great. I loved it. It was something that us Pirates Caribbean fans, if there still are any out there, I'm hoping that you guys haven't died after what happened last year and all that type of stuff. But still, look, the early battle scene of this movie really showcases what the movie's gonna be like. Really action-packed and all that. Next up, there was a weird multi-Jack Sparrow scene. Yes, there was a scene in the Davy Jones's locker when Jack Sparrow wakes up and he's talking to himself. Well, not really wakes up, but he's just talking to himself. And there's other versions of him. Yes, it's kind of amusing. It's supposed to be used I should say, it's supposed to be used for humorous purposes, but really, this movie had humor. Yes, it had great humor most of the time, but still, this scene was just completely unnecessary. This is one of the most unnecessary scenes I've seen in the entire movie. And the weird Jack Sparrow scene, yeah, that scene in particular really got onto my nerves. I mean, like, come on, really? And they kept popping up. I was like, oh, I wanted to write that down again on my paper. I was taking down notes like I did for the other two movies, so yeah, but yeah. I did not like that. Alright, we still have quite a bit to get through, guys, so it might be a long one. I'm hoping not as long as my first one, which was like almost 23 minutes long or 22 minutes. Yeah, but anyway, let's keep going. Next up, okay, and a positive this time. Interesting scene with Cap and Barbossa. Yes, aka Captain Jack Sparrow and Barbossa. I was going to say Captain America for a second, because every time I say Cap, Captain America. But no, Jack Sparrow, I should have said, yeah. Interesting scene with those two. The scene where this I'm talking about is when they're both back on the ship and they're both trying to like give orders, and he's like, what are you doing? No, what are you doing? No, what are you doing? That was such a funny scene. And it was very interesting to see those two like be pitted up against each other like how it was in the first film, but this film just amplifies their relationship much more. So yeah, very well done right there, guys. Alright, next up, no death scene for Elizabeth's father. Okay, so now we're a bit more further into the movie, and then they're going back, and as they're going back to the normal world, they come across all these dead people, and one of them's Elizabeth's father. Now, I wanted to see a death scene. Why did we not get a death scene? I have no idea. Maybe there's an extended cut. Who really knows? I don't think so. But I want to see a death scene for this father character. For one, he was right there from the beginning. So any character who appeared in the first film needs to have some type of great way to end off in this film. And two, Elizabeth's father is a character no one probably remembers or cares about every time they watch these movies. But I think like he's kind of important just because you can understand why Elizabeth's doing what she has to do. At the same time, she has a warm heart. So when you see her look at the father, yeah, it's kind of sad for her. But really, as an audience, like, where's the death? We know how you die. Just show us the death, please. So yeah, sorry, that annoyed me, guys. I don't know if it annoyed you, but that annoyed me. Alright, on a happier note, there was an interesting gun scene. The scene where they're all pointing guns at each other. Orlando Bloom's character, I should say now, the character's name, Will Turner, Elizabeth Swann, Jack Sparrow, Barbossa, and Mr. Gibbs all point guns at each other. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. And, kind of funny and also very interesting. I really liked that scene. It was one of the best scenes in the entire franchise, without a doubt. And anytime I would watch that movie and see that scene, I'll be like, that's so good. That's very good. It has kind of been ripped off from other movies, I think, in the past year or two, maybe recent years. I don't know, but still, yeah, but it was a very interesting scene. Yeah, sorry I'm going very brief, guys, but I'm going in depth as much as I can because this is like talking really about what happens in the movie thoroughly. Like most of the time, I don't talk about every single minute, but like some important things that I picked up. All right, now we're going into a negative, guys. I'm sorry, but a bunch of positives are gonna come, guys. So be prepared. But not right now. There was early death for Chow Yun-fat's character. So yes, Chow Yun-fat's character. Now, many minutes later, like half an hour later or something, that I believe, and Chow Yun-fat's character died. I think it's 20 or 10 minutes later. I can't remember. But the back normal world, Chow Yun-fat's character dies, and Elizabeth Swann is now the captain of the airship. So really, they disposed of him like he's a total buffoon or whatever. Like they don't even care. He did a great job for appearing in the Star, but now he's just what'd you do, Disney? Anyway, I don't blame Disney. I blame the writers. Why? Gore Verbinski, you should have thought about what you're doing with that character. Alright, next up. Another negative. This is my second last negative, and then there's two more positives, one more negative, and then a bunch of positives. So be prepared. But anyway, next up, there was repeated dialogue with the first scene of Bootstrap Bill for the movie. Yes, the scene where Bootstrap Bill talks to Elizabeth Swann for the first time ever. They were talking, and then towards the end of the conversation, he said the same thing, she said the same thing. I was like, guys, why are you doing this? I hate when lines repeat. It's just so annoying. Like, once or twice, okay, but many times it gets on my nerves. So that's a little nitpick, guys. Sorry. Alright, now, for the next two positives, one final negative, and then all positives, as promised. So, that is a bit of surprising death for James Norrington. Yes, that was a bit of a surprising death for the character. The character who appeared in the first movie, who no one kind of really liked, who had a shot of redemption in the second movie, and then died in this movie. Good character arc, I would say, for this character. It's kind of evolved, I should say, not involved, but evolved as the movie progressed on. So yeah, I didn't mind the character's death, but it was very surprising, like how he died. Bootstrap Bill kills him, out of all people. Like literally, if you watch that, you'll be like, okay, 10 miles away or 10,000 miles away. Okay, you know what's gonna happen. He's gonna die. It's so obvious. But the way they did that scene, I don't know. It was just kind of surprising. Out of all people, who would kill him but him? So yes. Alright, now, it's the next positive is that there's an interesting conversation with Davy Jones, Will, and none other than Beckett. Yes, Lord Beckett, I should say. The main villain of this, one of the main antagonists of this movie, and the second movie. Yeah. Those three characters talking was very interesting. It was like, imagine if you had, I don't know, like people from multiple franchises talking. It's like, it's not really a fan stream. It's just one of those things where you like, okay, I get it. This has to happen, this has to happen. So to see D3 talk, having their own like different point of views, perspectives on things, and also talking about like the chess, Davy Jones's chess, his chess when he was talking about his chess and all that type of stuff. It was interesting. So yeah, I actually kind of like that scene. It's not one of the best scenes, but it was an interesting scene. I found it interesting. I do say that 2 or 3 times in this, but when I was taking notes, yeah. All right, next up, the final negative. There's no explanation of how the crew got to that place where the pirates are. Again, I mean, yes, obviously they wouldn't show. It would take way too long. It'll be like a 3-hour movie then, which it almost is. It's like 2 hours and 40 minutes on, like around there. But really, I needed to know why on earth they would talk to these pirates. I wanted some explanation on that scene. Not how they got there, but why. Okay. Moving on. That's my final negatives. Don't want to make this review too long. Oh gosh, it's almost 16 minutes. Anyway, now it's time for a bunch of positives. So I'll go a bit more faster, guys. Well, not too fast, but at a good pace. So, starting off with the first positives for this positive chaos or mayhem. We finally get the first scene with Davy Jones and Tia Dalma, aka Calypso. Yeah, ooh, fancy. These two characters have evolved over time, but well, I wouldn't say Tia Dalma much, but Davy Jones kind of has evolved. He's more aware, I guess, of what he's trying to do now because he realizes there are other humans, but his place and all that. But really, when you see these two characters, it touches your heart at times. I don't know if it touched mine, but I'm just giving examples. If you ever felt that scene touch your heart, I wouldn't be surprised because that scene is one of those emotional scenes where you're like, oh my gosh, they should finally reunite. And this villain isn't actually as bad as you think he is, which is why Davy Jones is probably one of the best villains of the entire franchise. I still have Barbossa, he's number one. No one cares about what people say about Javier Bardem's character and Ian McShane in number 4, whatever. But still, this villain, Davy Jones, really well done. Seeing Davy, and also in that same scene, at the same time, seeing Davy Jones's human form, I was so relieved and very happy to see how he looked. It's one of those things where you're like, I wonder how he looks like without the mask, without this, without that. Like, we obviously know how Darth Vader looked before he was Darth Vader. They showed in episode 3 at the end. He was all bent up, but now, and obviously he took off the mask in the original trilogy. But in this movie, we get to see Davy Jones' human form, which was very, very good. I like that. Alright, we still have a bit more, guys. Alright, next up. First time seeing Jack and his dad. Yes, the scene which involved those random pirates. Jack's dad also appears. And just a few seconds, very briefly, you get to see a bit of a interaction with those two. And I found that very, very interesting and kind of entertaining. I mean, you really feel sorry for Jack, like, oh, he's this no good lucky guy and all that type of stuff. But still, to see his dad actually makes you feel like this guy is not who you always thought he was. He actually has a father who's kind of like him. So like, there's this kind of family relationship going on. I don't know if he appears in the fourth one. I think he does, but we'll see how that goes. So yeah, interesting, very nice scene. Next up, nice pirate conversation in the sand like a western. There's a scene in this movie which is by far the best scene in the entire movie, and that is that scene where the music, a bit of guitar comes and all that. And they're walking and walking, the three of them, Jack, Elizabeth, and Barbossa, towards Beckett, Davy Jones, and Will Turner. And all those characters are like just standing there staring at each other. And the way they did it was like a western. Sorry guys if there's noise in the background, it's my dad. Anyway, look, I love the scene. It's the best scene in the entire franchise, actually, without doubt. And yeah, great job, guys, for including that scene in the movie. Gore Verbinski. He also did a great job filming the scene. The way he showed the characters and all that talking, it's really great. The humor, the relationships, again, different perspectives on things, just builds off what you did before with that scene with the 3 other characters. Beckett, Davy Jones, and Will. Now you have other 3 characters talking. These 6 characters, that scene is the best scene in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise for me. Love that scene. Great job. Yeah. Next up, epic ship battle in harsh weather conditions. Now this is all towards the end, guys. So yeah, so we're getting almost to the end of the review, but before that, I have to talk about this stuff. So these are all talking about the final battle stuff. So really, the last act of the movie was really, really good. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just thinking, how long was the last? I would say like the last 30 to 35 or 25 minutes of, actually I should 30 to 35 minutes of this movie was really, really good. So I should just say, if you guys ever watch a movie, which I highly recommend you do, it's definitely worth your time, in my opinion, I should say. But the last act of this movie, whenever it starts, whenever you see the ship battle at the end, I'll just say that it's really, really good. And the reason why I'm going to talk about most of the stuff in this battle is how it plays out. It's really well done. And this epic ship battle in harsh conditions really showcases the talent of the cinematography, the talent of Gore Verbinski, and the talent of the writers, for including scenes in this movie that make it charming, funny, and at the same time really cool and epic. This is where the epic stuff starts coming, guys. So first up, great callback to the first film with Jack and the Man. The scene where Jack talks to two men about the black pearl not existing, and you see the same too in this movie. This time it's about something else. And the way they did that scene just reminded me of the first one. This time Jack takes Davy Jones's chest, yeah, instead of running away, which is crazy. But great callback. Alright, next up, epic battle with Davy Jones and Jack. The second movie had a great battle, but this one amplified it. I just loved the whole battle, and yeah, it was just really good. Alright, next up, team up with Will and Elizabeth. You know this was probably coming, but yeah, I did like the team up. It wasn't bad. It wasn't like, oh, okay, we're getting this. I can't believe I'm doing this. So yeah, but really, it was a great team up, and I really, really enjoyed that. So yeah, alright guys, we're almost there. Next up, marriage in the ship battle. This just made the whole battle a lot more intense, a lot more crazier. They got freaking married in the ship. Now obviously it wasn't a proper wedding because dozens of things happening at the same time. So really, it was a very interesting scene, and to see it played out in the movie, yes, it's a bit cheesy and over the top when they kiss and or exploding and all that, but really, the way they did that scene was very funny and very sweet and charming. Very well done to do it in a crazy scene. So yeah, alright, we got 4 more positives to talk about. Next up, intense fights for the chest. There was a whole scene dedicated just to people getting the chest, from Will's father to Davy Jones to Jack to even other people. It was crazy. So yeah, that whole scene played out very well, and at the same time there was obviously a ship battle. So yeah, alright guys, before I end it, I just have to say this is the longest review I've ever done. So yeah, but anyway, we got 3 more positives. Alright, next up, good death for Lord Beckett. Towards the end, after this mega ship battle happens, Lord Beckett's ship explodes and he dies. And the way he died was actually really good. I like that. It was a slow motion, very nice. So yeah, good job. Second was one, seeing Bootstrap Bill as a human. That was great. I really liked that. And to see him as a human, to see Stellan Skarsgård, sorry, I can't pronounce it fast, act in this franchise without wearing makeup was great. And finally, good ending scene with music. Of course, this is known for these type of movies, so yeah, I love the Hans Zimmer score at the end, Jack Sparrow going into wherever he's going on the boat, and large wide shot with the music. So overall, it's a really great movie. My mouth is aching right now for talking this long, but anyway, hey, my top 10 video was like 21 minutes. But anyway, yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End, that's what I thought. Still really enjoyed it. 8 out of 10 for me. Best film of the franchise. So what do you think of this movie? Tell me in the comments below. I'm going to take a break now, guys. My name is Akil, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for my review of Avengers Infinity War. Bye, guys.